Hey guys, welcome back to Hicks's Fab Garage. So this video is gonna be kind of probably awkward. It's gonna be weird. I've been shooting this probably for the last 4 or 5 months. What month is this? Because we're beginning of April now. So I shot everything pretty much on my phone. I'm editing everything on my phone. I did get a new camera, a GoPro, and then I tried doing it on my computer. It hasn't been working too well. So sorry about the quality. It's choppy. I did lose some footage. I did have one camera I had. I didn't like it. So in the beginning, like the first probably me talking, it sounds really bad and it's not good, but it goes away. And I lost some footage. So on this video, I'm pretty much working on the engine bay. I went in, I stripped the whole car down, pretty much the front end. I took the windows out, trying to get this thing done, cleaned up. I wanted to get it painted in time, but time's just slipping by. So on this, I removed all the brackets. I pretty much did a half shave, I'm gonna say. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Give me a like, thumbs up. I'm gonna try to be a little better now since I have a GoPro, but my computer won't allow me to do videos right now. So I did it all on my phone. It was a lot of pain. So music now is good. I hope you enjoy it. Quickly cover again what I just talked about. So, remove the battery tray. Did have some rippage. I used the belt sander, the narrow one, just trying to sand the welds off to pop it because I didn't want to try to put holes in their side, but ended up being more damage, like a tear through here because there's rust. So that's going to have to be fixed. I removed another bracket. Back right there, same thing. I got all the rust inside the firewall. Can't wait to see the holes. Started trying to get the little tabs that will hold the wiring harness stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and use the regular sander and get those off. Then I moved the windshield washer tank waterproof because that's not going to be there anymore. So a little bit hole through there, but no biggie. More welding fix. Now I did go ahead and remove the front valence or brawl or whatever you guys want to call it. Oh, this camera's like on a timeout. The screen turns off after a while, so yeah, okay, so fine. So it's I took a hammer to this dolly, tried straightening this out. This was all warped. The car was hit on this side. I mean, and I don't know if there's a little. I mean, there's a little bit of damage in through here, but never really messed up it. You can see a crease right here. So I'll take a dolly to it, try to straighten it. Nothing's on the rail or anything, so that is a plus. Then do got a little bit of damage through here, a lot of rust. Have to grind that off. Hopefully I won't find any rust holes. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse actually down here. Other ones I could always find holes, put my pinky or something through. It feels strong, but I won't know until I take a grinder to it. Yeah, so the front valence, yeah, it's a little rough. A lot of rust, trying to get it off, but it was hit. They pulled it through here. That's filler coming out through this side, so they did that. And up there they used a lot of filler. So I think I probably want to get I do have another one that's it's a little bent, but it's a lot better shape, so I might be able to use that. When I strip it and find out, I'll see if that will work. So then the other really big issue is down through here. There's a lot of deep pitting through rust. So I'll take a grind wheel, till it, then rust treat it. Then I'll put a encapsulator, sand it, so only the encapsulator's in the pit. And then I can put Bondo over top of it. So that's what I've been reading. Looks like the proper way to do it, so I'll do that. So a lot of grinding and a lot of spot welding. All these little holes I need to tap out, grind, and weld up. Whew. Hey guys, welcome to this cold morning. So I've been jumping around working on different things because it's been so cold out. I mean, we had with wind chills some days below in the negatives. Ain't too bad now. It's like 29 degrees. It's early morning, so I'm hoping to get a lot done today. I've done a few things that I haven't recorded, other things I have recorded. So I did get a new camera. The new camera I got, I did not like it. It does not work with sound. If I move the camera, it just got too noisy and sounded like wind was blowing in it when I'm inside. So I decided to go with it. It was good for time lapse, but that's about it. So I did go ahead, ground a lot of this, welded a lot of little holes up. I did run into a lot of rust in through here after moving the battery tray. That goes a little discouraging. I'm not not a fabricator or good welder in general. This is just an awkward shape. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 different angles just in that spot there. So I was trying to figure out how I'm gonna have to replace that. Well, I decided I needed to go through and grind, if we can see over here, all of it back here. Started working on it, removed a decent amount of it. The undercoating's a pain in the butt because if it gets too hot, it just melts. I tried different ways to use to get it to strip, but from doing it, I did run into more issues. I did find some rust up and through here pretty good, and did pop through a big hole and a little hole here and here. It doesn't show up on this side because it's inside down there, so it's an easy one to fix. There's a lot of good metal around it. So go ahead, I did put some rust treatment on it. But then I do have all this damage down here from the, who knows which owner it was, smashed this with the hammer. This is all smashed in. I'm not going to fix this now, because eventually I do want to replace the floor when I did the fiberglass you see from my other videos. So I'm just going to come from here. So I'm just going to sand it as best as I can and treat it. I'm not going to put anything high-end or expensive to protect that area, but I will prime everything and put a coating over top of it. I got to get up and through here, a lot of rust. The last Datsun I have, I mean, this was all rust out after I removed it, but it ain't too bad, so I'm happy. So pretty much I started from just here, cleaning all the way forward. So I did take, I would talk earlier, it's probably in this video, that this side was hit. This was all smashed in. I took a dolly to it, just roughly. I have to go back through and clean it all up, make it nicer. So get that straightened out. And there was a nice crease right here. You see where the paint is. I took a hammer and dolly, tried to flatten out because where that paint was, it was a high point. So I just took a dolly and tapped it back down, trying to get to match to equal the other side. So a little bit more welding than I want. Oh, I gotta circle that too. Got another weld here. I was debating if, when I remove the battery, some people, when they do this engine bay shape, they either leave this little dent for the tray, or they cut it out, or you can do a T shape. Some people say take a cutter, cut here and up here, and you bend it, flatten it over top of each other, and line it up and just weld in there. I'm not quite sure which way is going to work better for this. I mean, because you got to bend here and curve around. I wish I kept my I did have an old cutout from over here that had the top part that might have fit, but I got rid of it. That's why you don't get rid of things. So I decided to go through and just circle everything with a blue marker, things that I'm going to just sand and remove and plug weld. So a decent amount of holes I got to. Trying to remember which ones I need to keep or not. So you got clutch, brake reservoir, steering rack. This was the parking brake. I don't have the parking brake anymore. I'm gonna eliminate that. This is the mechanism for the throttle key, for the rods. So I need to leave these that bolt up to it. Well, I don't know about this one. I need to double check. See, I need that throttle cable. This where the linkage went, that just had a plug in it. I need to remove the rest of these. Don't need that. Heater hoses inside, cooling wise, that. Don't need this. So the other things. And then I'm removing the hood latch, so I don't need that. Then I do got all the seam sealer down through here. I am going to go and eliminate. So I'm just going to go through and get the welding done. Then I'll go back through. The best thing I found though was stripping. I mean, I tried a whole bunch of different things. Wire wheels are good only for big rust. This from Harbor Freight, the CTR, or I can't remember what it's called. Eastwood has one too like it. It worked okay. Maybe if I put one of these coarse wheels onto it. Then oscillator tool. I used that. It worked out getting like the big chunks, like you had some big thick buildup. It worked to break it down. I wish I took a picture. I mean, the whole floor was covered. I was covered discs. But the best thing that got it really clean were these stripping discs. I had one, so I went on Amazon, found some cheap ones, and it had them overnight. So I got a decent amount of these, and I got some 2-inch ones I can put on a drill bit or my ear grinder to clean up. That seemed like the best way, and does less amount of damage. You can use some sandpaper, but I don't want to break through in certain areas that I don't need to. But I'm just gonna go through, sand all the areas where I'm welding, clean that up, weld, then I'll go back through and just start stripping the whole bit, rest of the bay out. And hopefully I don't find any more videos. All right, update. I've been at this for almost 3 hours. So I got good amount of it stripped. Those discs were really well. The smaller discs, they're okay. I don't know. It could be my connection. I mean, I'll try better, see on my drill. I don't know if I can get the RPMs up high enough, really good distance with the crack wise. But I went through also with my little belt sander and removed all the little extra little tabs. I still gotta get this one. The belt wouldn't fit down in there to get it. So that, and I still got to cut these bolts because I don't need those. So those can go bye-bye. When I removed this bracket though, a little rusted eyes to it. It's full of dirt all behind there because that's where your vent fan, it's supposed to be able to come out the bottom, but the bottom might be smashed in. There's a little lip that's supposed to allow things to drain. So that's all open in the inside through there. So sad to say, I mean, I'm gonna probably just cut the bottom out, blow it out, see how rusty it is, but like it busted through here because of rust. You can either remake this panel. It's not that, I mean, it's very easy shape to make, so I'm not too worried about it. If I have to, I didn't want to because of time constraint. And then trying to get into all these little corners and crevices is the hardest part. So got in up and through here is hard to get with the grind disc. So yeah, it's a little update to it. I mean, luckily I didn't find any more rust really besides that right there so far. Did most of the railing on this side. This one's so much better than what this side was. So I will have to, I mean, I will go back through and just do all of it. I was planning on just doing some welding, but kid's gonna be home actually soon, I guess, sooner than I thought. So I need to get the noisiest stuff out of the way before he takes his nap. Welding's not as loud, so I'm just get back on, take a little break, and hopefully I can get all this stripped down the best I can. And then I have to determine how I want to fix that and that. So yay for me. And this, I mean, one thing is make sure if like you do it in the garage, it warmed up a lot, so I just opened the garage door vent. I cover a lot of my stuff in my garage in with plastic, things I don't want dust on that the wife will get mad at. So I'll go through and blow and clean the garage out when I'm done. And also, if you do throw sparks off when you're doing this. So like me, I have my front window off. I'm not too worried about it. The only thing left in there is the 2 chairs. I don't really care too much about those chairs. They're easy to clean. I'll cover them once I throw some primer down. But if you don't cover your windows, spark fly hits it, you're gonna have a bunch of little marks all over that. You're not gonna be removed from your glass. So just make sure cover yourself. I didn't do it. If I had the windows in, I would have covered it in like cardboard or something to help protect it. Okay, actually, I'm sorry. I need to do a correction. This back here, I don't know why I said vent fan. It's for up through here where your wiper blade assembly is for water to drain when it rains, because you have the cowl up here. The water drains down it, so it's going through here, collect and drain. And if you remember my cleaning video, I scooped so much stuff out of there. I couldn't get it out of down there far enough. So maybe I could take my air hose and try blowing it out and see if that does. And not, then I'll cut a hole. So that's what that was for. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, getting some of this welding done. Some of the plugs, if you see from the time lapse I had, pretty much you take a coat hanger, I cut it off, welded it to it, and then used 2 drills, put this end into the drill and spin it around, sand it, to make sure you get a nice feeling to it. So got that one, filled that one, that one. Well, they're spotted and I have to go back through and weld them all in, but just showing exactly everything I've got done. So it's looking good. There are some very smaller ones. They're gonna be harder to do. I think I'm gonna take a drill though. I have some hole drills. I'm gonna drill this one out, make it bigger because it doesn't indent. I mean, I could take a hammer to the inside, try flatten it out. I could do that too, but I'm gonna wait till this one's welded in. That way I'll give it more strength down through here. Then I got all these little holes. Gotta try to fill them up. So still a long ways to go, but so oh, let's just say this is how I got the size I need. Put just tape over it, take a marker and fill in the hole around it, and just take it and stick it to a piece of metal, cut it out by hand, and then weld it to it. So. Okay, another day gone by. So I kind of got this formed here. It's probably put a lot of effort into it, more than I needed to. I did some stretching with the hammer. I put it in my stretcher too and stretched the edge out, trying to get the flare out to fit in. So all I did then was cut this part out. Well, and then I tacked this in place, trying to get it to fit the way I needed it to, and then traced out what I needed. So I'm going to go through and just cut this out. It is going to not cover all of it. I'm going to slow down here. So this is going to be probably 2 parts. So get this to fit here, and then I'm going to make then trim it up and make a plate for right back in here to cover it. So that seemed like the best way to do it. So hopefully it works out and looks halfway decent. Okay, so the top part's welded in, not completely. Still got the welds up pretty high. I do gotta grind them down more, but I'm gonna wait until I figure out how I'm gonna do this side. I mean, this side right through down here, not too bad. I mean, some big gaps. This side's gotta be bent in a little bit more. So, I mean, it's a little rough down here, the metal. It's got a lot of pitting into it. So I cleaned up the best I could. So I'm going to try tacking through here, try getting that corner. This is a huge gap. I'll probably have to wait till I try to get this tacked in down through here, then make a little piece to fit in there. But I mean, actually, I'm quite happy. I might be able to weld two from better from the other side. So I might give that a shot. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell with these, the glare and the shine stuff, but I'm actually pretty happy with that. So let's see if that will hopefully tack without blowing too many holes, because that's what was happening up and through here. Get these big holes. I'm going to try to do it from the other side and go from there. So I'm coming back with you guys, showing you what I've been doing. So welding's done. Videos are so far between, it's hard to keep track of when I started and not. But I went ahead and I did some fiberglass and on top of the welds. Very thin coat, almost transparent. It'd be easy to sand. A little thicker on this side because I did have that little dent. I am going to put another coating in through here with the fiberglass feeling for it. I haven't put any there yet, and I still got to do the back walls. So this is just to make sure I don't have any pinholes or anything built up into it. So I went through, I sanded this with 80 grit, and then I've washed it. I did rust treat everything too, because there's a little rust and all the little, was in the little crevices and just lot of little spots. So I made sure all those were covered for it. Okay, sorry, I got kids in the background playing. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a thin layer of fiberglass. You know, all these pit holes, I rust treated all this, why it's nice and black. So I'm gonna put nice skin on top of it, and then just in the certain spots. So the coating type I've used is, well, we'll go over the table and I'll show you. All right, I try and do this with kids in the background playing. So the type of fiberglass I am using, I am just using the cheap Bondo for it. The strains on this is shorthand strain, so this is what I've seen people use on YouTube. I don't know. I watch a lot of different people on YouTube. The one I've seen really do this was, I know people don't think it's the best way to do things he does, but Bad Chad, I think it makes sense for it. So like, see how thick this stuff is? It's not really smooth. It's going to be harder to get into some of those holes. So this is a bad old screwdriver. It's nice and clean though. And I'm still trying to get the mixture right, because the stuff I put on last night wasn't really dry until late this morning. Now it's so cold. You are supposed to use this in warmer temperatures, about 60 and up it says. So let's go ahead and just gonna, I don't need a whole lot. Let's get some of that out. So pretty big section. Now to make it a little bit more runnier for it, actually I have some resin left over when I did the floors with the fiberglass. So this just helps loosen it up. It does take longer to dry, but you don't need as much, just a little bit into it. That just will help smooth it up. So since a lot of the stuff on smaller areas I'm using, I want to use some smaller. So
and I got smell, I mean, pressure burn masses. I mean, I don't know if it's just this brand on top of it. It is bad. Here's Bondo brand when I did my dash. The regular body filler, and I cannot stand the smell. Yes, good. You gotta take the boots off here inside. Well, put it back on then. The harder part, I don't think I made any improvement in this last night. Yeah, that's what, get out there, I mean, this stuff's give you a headache.
Okay, so all the fiberglass is all in the bay. It's all drying, so I'm not gonna be able to get to finish sanding it yet because I'm waiting for more sandpaper to show up. So after that, I will be able to do epoxy. I was gonna end the video here, but I decided to keep it going because I want to do some more stuff to the front end. I was gonna save this for a separate video, but we'll make this one a little longer. So the plans are for this right here. There's 3 areas I need to worry about. Right here is pretty damaged. I really wasn't going to try touching it. This, when it was hit, I might have explained before, but look how it moves pretty easily. And this is all bent up really bad through here. So there's not much, it's hard to get a hammer back there and hit it. I tried figuring out a way to pop it out, but I can't. So I'm thinking about replacing from like here down through this section over to here. So replace this, the areas that stretched out here, and then a little bit up in this area. So that's what I'm planning on that. Then down here, I did spray all this stuff with rust converter, but there's a lot of holes. You can see light from down here on this side. So I'm gonna need to take the wire weld of this all the way and see exactly what all comes out. Probably have to cut a section up from here and replace all that in there. Then on the top side, I have plans what I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to need this anymore. So I'm actually going to need to go ahead and make a patch panel for here and the little holes. So let's get started. I think I'll probably start with this because this might be the easiest thing to do. Okay, we're going to make this easy. Just take a part of a box. This was from Waffles from my kids. So this makes it a lot easier. Just get one roughly fit the same size. Press nice and firm, take your marker. Okay, and I'm just going to actually cut this one out here and then so, if you saw me time-lapse wise, I went ahead and I actually welded up everything for the latch. I am not going to be using the latch anymore, so I'm like, might as well get rid of it, make it all look nice and clean and flowing. I am going to be putting hood pins in. So I got some really nice ones I'm going to try out. So go through, check my welding. No light shining through. I am happy with that. So that part's done. Now on to the second part. Down here. So it doesn't look too bad, hopefully. So it looks like I'm going to be cutting out probably from here. I'll start here as close as possible here and cut, you know, maybe what, inch and a half up straight across. Now and see what it looks like. I might have to do a little repair back there, but I don't see any, besides on the main struct part, really rot through the little hole right there. You can see, I don't think you see my thumb flashing in and out of it, but that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut that out and see what it looks like inside. So, I can't remember where I left you guys off. So, cut the first layer out. That was a few holes down through there, so I went ahead and just cut it out. It is a lot pitted and rusted, so pretty much almost welding to rust. So, it took a lot of time. This is thicker gauge, so it's a little easier to weld to. So, I just made it fit on each side and then slowly tacked it. And then you go through, grind it, and see if there's any pinholes, and just re-tack it through. Then once that's all welded up, now I'll go through, draw, make my line, and I'll cut it nice and flush with it, then just make it the same thing with this. So this is very basic, simple. I wish there was just more of this. I mean, it seems there is a lot of corrosion inside the rail, but nothing you can do about that. I can encapsulate it, what I'm going to do with it, once all this is all welded up and done. So I'm going to go through and grind this all down. So the front rust part, I went ahead and made the second panel. Just hit it with some weld through primer. So very easy to make. Pretty much cut size to it, and then I used this tool here. I can't remember where I got this, like off Amazon or it was either Eastwood. Not quite sure. But the reason I got it was because I used to have the one from Harbor Freight that always punched holes through the air compressor wise to it, but I went through 2 of them and they always broke. So I'm like, I'd just rather use hand strength with it. So this has been working out pretty good for it. The holes are a little bit smaller for the plug welding. So that's fine. I just put a little ridge to it. It's still drying, but I don't care if it doesn't need to be. I'm not butt welding top. I'm gonna slide it in there and cut around the sides. It doesn't have to be perfect for this. I mean, this is not even gonna see this part at all. Sprayed some weld through primer onto there. So I'm just go ahead, once it's dried, I just get this done and that would be out of the way. Then I'll move on to the last part. So this video is starting to be really long. So I'm doing a lot of editing. This is back from since Christmas time, so as soon as I get this done and that, then I probably end the video there. I'm not going to be able to prime it because it's still not warm enough. The weather's been crazy today. We have high winds, we have rain, we've had hail. Look like snow is about to happen. It's not too bad out, but we're getting all the wet seasons up here in Ohio. So, all right, we'll let that dry. So I went ahead and I decided I'm going to try to pull some of this out before I try to see what I need to cut out. So I went cleaned it up, grind it down, and had some nice pinpoints to it. Still got more pulling to do down through here actually, so I need to grind this down and weld on and try to pull it. So I'm hoping if afterwards, like this kind of straightened out, it's a little wobbly, but I should be able to get to it. So I need to go through and try that here. So I went through, pulled all the way down through here with it, and then I went ahead and made this up. I actually made one for the whole thing, but I'm only going to replace the parts that I need. So I used my bead roller. It's not perfect, but it's better than what I think I had on there. The problem is, like when I have my roller, where do I put that thing? I'll use this. From here to here, right across, there should be no gap. I have a big gap there. I've been working on it. There was a huge one. There's a lot less. Problem is this right here is really damaged, so it's hard to really get a good mark to it. So I'm gonna I really don't want to mess with these bolts that are here and here. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out here, come across and up to this point here, because this is really what's damaged up in this area. So I'm gonna cut that out, and I might hopefully that'd be the only part of this I use, because I made it to fit just like that into it. So I mean, not too bad. So we'll go ahead and cut this out and see if that helps out, because I really don't want to replace a big section. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll look cleaner and be stronger and not be as wavy. All right, guys, don't get mad at me. I kind of had to jump ahead. I had to do welding and get some stuff done in between when I could. It's just a pain in the butt to get the camera out between my kids' naps and running around before my wife has to go to work. So I'm gonna have to say I kind of went ahead and I finished it. So I ended up I just cut this part out right here, and I just had to weld this up here. I had to straighten all this out. I mean, if you go to my Instagram, I have photos of it, how I did it, because photos are a lot easier. Take a quick Snapchat. But I pretty much took a straight bar iron that went across and seen how bad, because this was all pushed in, and I put clamps on all of it, trying to straighten it out. I compared it to that side over there. Got close, still off about 1/32 off. So I'm happy with it. So I went ahead, sanded it down, covered in fiberglass now, so it's drying. So I'll have to come back and I'll get that sanded. So I think that's gonna be it for this video. This video is very long. Oh, hopefully I can see, because I can't see it. There we go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give me a like, comment. Let me know what I should have done differently or anything. And I mean, the next step on this, I have to sand the complete engine bay down. So all the fiberglass in there, get all nice and cleaned up. And then I'll probably, I don't know if I'll go ahead and do body or do epoxy, or I might just move on to the rear, because that's the next big side that needs welded. I'm done welding up here, done with it. So it's just sanding and doing just basic body work onto it, then primer, and go from there. So, hey guys, thank you very much. Stay tuned for hopefully the next video. Hopefully it won't take as long to come out.